This is the New Eden update for Monday, February 29th, 2016. Yes, that one day every 4 years that we get extra. It's a leap year, so it's the leap day. I'm Wiggles, and here's a roundup of a few stories from around New Eden. A quick reminder that today is the start of the CSM 11 voting period. So make sure you go out there and vote. And also, there was some downtime today. It's a little bit extended. You know, stuff happens, stuff goes wrong. Make sure you don't bitch and moan. If you do, well, you know what? Don't. We start today with a post over at Crossing Zebras about Watchlist woes. Quote, every so often a change comes around that takes effect and that affects your particular niche as a player more than others. For some, this has been introduced of the introduction of Tech 3 destroyers, which completely changed the faction warfare meta. For others, the changes to Titan weaponry, which meant they could no longer effectively apply damage to sub-capitals. Whilst at EVNT, I had the pleasure of attending an excellent presentation by CCP Masterplan and CCP Labowski, during which they demonstrated some new fighter squadrons and showed the new Pike-class Doomsday in action, amongst other things. Along with this, changes to the watchlist were announced. Essentially, the function allowing you to see whether another pilot is online or not will be removed, unless both parties agree to it. This will be the default, with an option to toggle to allow people to see someone like Cribber is online, assuming Cribber is cool with it and checks his online box, of course, and I'm sure he will. The last time people thought capital hunting was dead, it was due to jump fatigue and the range of changes that came with the Phoebe expansion. Now, nearly 2 years later, I can safely say that they were wrong and my team was able to adapt. A couple of people have asked why I didn't react at EVNT to the presentation when the changes were announced. I was content to silently approaching the irony of announcing being made in the presence of about 25 Wrecking Crew members. Since then, you know, I found a viable alternative. And when that too gets nerfed out of existence, I'll tell you about it. Next we go to Eve News 24 for a post about tackled supercarrier that started a battle. HTAC-GKI-6 system, Providence region on the 27th of February at 1400 Eve Standard Time, a tackled supercarrier prompted a battle between Providence Block and Pandemic Legion. The chain of events that led to the supercarrier in question, an Aeon being tackled, started with the Spectre Fleet interceptor roam through the region. Spectre Fleet had lost approximately 40 pilots and was moving through the Protestant region in search of a prey. The force came across a Hyperion battleship in the VKI attack T7 gate in the HTAC-GKI-6 system. It quickly teleported off, and with the use of a command destroyer was easily dispatched. However, shortly after, an Archon carrier warped to the gate in order to give support to the battleship, arriving a bit too late. The interceptor fleet quickly tackled the carrier as well and started tearing it apart, at which point a Nicoda carrier jumped in to assist the Archon. With 2 carriers on the field, the Spectre Fleet commanders were attempting a retreat, as 2 triage carriers were too much for their interceptor fleet to handle. Yet, when a few minutes later an Aeon carrier jumped through the gate as well, all thoughts of withdrawal were set aside. All told, the battle lasted 60 minutes, with the system hosting approximately 150 pilots at the peak of fighting, and no time dilation was reported. Providence Block lost 10 ships in the fight, including 1 Aeon and 2 carriers and a battleship, for a total of 29.27 billion ISK. Pandemic Legion and Spectre Fleet lost 22 ships in the fight, including 2 dreadnoughts and 3 command ships, for a total of 7.95 billion ISK damage. Our last post today is from thematani.com and is about an avatar being downed in Vale. What started as being a combined Lorne Bastion strategic op to save a tower in Harkonnen turned into a Titan kill in Vale of the Silent earlier today. The Lorne and Bastion contingents fielded a fleet of Armour T3 strategic cruisers led by Kenyan and met up in WBR-5 and proceeded to Harkonnen, where they saved a friendly tower and reinforced several enemy towers belonging to Body Count Inc. without opposition. While this operation was going forward, a small gang of Legion of XX Death XX came to LS-JEP, an entry system into Vale of the Silent, from Geminate and the Kalevala Expanse. X-Cynics and the Dictator 127 of No Refunds undocked their carriers to play with them and killed an Armageddon, which had lit a Sino on the undock. XXDeathXX then used an Arazu to light another silo about 100 kilometers away from the station before dropping a 70-man Macarial fleet on the carriers. Although he had digressed by this point, Sinex did not notice that there was a Titan fleet until the avatar of Sonic used his Doomsday to destroy his Thanatos. Having used his Doomsday weapon, however, Sonic now could not move for 30 seconds, and on top of that, as we all know, he could not cloak or use his jump drive for 10 minutes. This was a calculated risk on his part, and many members of Lorne were participating in a Stratop but far away in low-sec. The response in LSJEP was limited, and some members of Lorne had alts in LSJEP, like Q-Sirius of Tigrad, who immediately began staying down the Titan. In the end, Lorne and its allies lost 20 billion ISK in material, while inflicting approximately 156 billion ISK in damages, with the vast majority down to that one Titan. Elsewhere in E-related content today, new blog post out from Mike Arizariah with a very touching post. I recommend you go and read it. It will be in the show notes. And a post from Stephen Nukin. New podcasts, there's a big lot because it's the weekend, from the Asher Hour, Clueless Space Nerds, Close Quarters, and some more CSM 11 interviews and roundtables, the Nova Newscast, and yesterday's This Week in New Eden, where myself, Dirk McGurk, and Cypher went on for 3 hours. Yes, that's 3 hours of Eve news. That's a first time for a long time. Plex prices in the Forge region today are registering an average traded price of 1,183,000,000 ISK so far today, which is down, is up slightly from yesterday's closing average of 1,182,000,000. The top buy order in GT right now is 1,181,000,000, and sell orders are starting at 1,189,000,000. Skill extractors are trading at 276 million, which is on par from yesterday's closing average. Buy orders are starting at 270 million, and sell orders are starting at 78 million. Injectors, on the other hand, are trading at 633 average, down from yesterday's average of 636. Buy orders are starting at 627, and sell orders are starting at 639. Quick note though, because of the extended downtime today, the trading averages and numbers are down. Thank you to the people who have chosen to support this show on Patreon and decided they get some value from it and decided to give a little bit back. As always, you get a patreon.com/wiggles to find out about how you can support this show. You can do it from as little as $1 a month. If you feel like you get a bit of value and you can give it back, I'd appreciate it because it helps pay for the show and the costs. If not, I'm still going to do it anyway. But you know what? I know everyone can't actually support on Patreon. So, if you want to support, there's 2 ways you can do it. 1, tell your friends, your court mates, your alliance mates, everyone you know about this show, even the dog and the goldfish, and the guy that picks up your garbage. Tell him. If you can't, go to newedenupdate.com/support to find out all the ways. Buying a Plex, all that sort of stuff. This show is broadcast live on Twitch, which you can see right now, and it just got bumped as we did it. Wow, it happens. And also, I upload it to YouTube afterwards, after recording it for the podcast. So please, if you do have any feedback about how it's going, let me know. You can do that by emailing us, which is feedback@newedenupdate.com. You can leave comments in the show blog at newedenupdate.com. You can send us a tweet as well. Funnily enough, that's @newedenupdate. You can also check out all the latest headlines, podcasts, blog posts, and all that other jazz you need to find on TotalEve.com, because this has been your New Eden update for Monday, February 29th. We'll be back tomorrow. I'm Wiggles, and thank you very much for listening.